Welcome back to the shop. It is Saturday morning at about 2 a.m. and I'm finally getting a chance to tie up the vlog for the week. It's been another busy, cold New York week, and started out this week teaching my second class of the semester, teaching my students about Magic Sculpt and Sculpey. And while I was working on the Magic Sculpt, it inspired me. If you guys know Bill Lavosi, Bill put up the No Lathe Pen Challenge this week. There's been so many guys making pens on the lathe. Bill said, hey, what if you don't have a lathe? Let's make a pen, do something interesting with a pen. And so I got inspired from my class to make Mr. Pen Man. It's an idea I had 20 years ago. I actually made it years ago trying to sell it in the toy business, but now here's Mr. Pen Man. This video is going to be out this week. I used Magic Sculpt, or Smooth-On's version of Magic Sculpt, which is called Free Sculpt, I think. And it's just epoxy clay. You mix them together and it becomes hard like plastic. It's really great stuff. You should experiment with it. I finally got a chance this week to assemble my shop box lathe. I bought this lathe with a smaller one. I needed a lathe that was made in the modern era. My other lathe is made in the 1920s, and it was out of whack, and I just needed something I could speed up, slow down, do some cool stuff with. So look forward to a few projects I have in mind. This thing kicks ass. I'm looking forward to playing with it. Finally, I've been given the incentive to get out of my New York City shop a little bit earlier than expected. So I am on a search trying to find a spot upstate. I've been looking at all different industrial spaces in and around near my house upstate. I'm going to build my shop this year, and in the in-between time, I needed just an industrial space. I could park all my junk, go through it, set up, shoot videos. I could do stuff here, but it's just a little confined. I need like a big place, a real big place. And that's what I'm going to build here, but in the in-between time for about 1 year. I think I'm going to take a 1-year lease on an industrial space. You'll follow along in the videos and see where that goes. Ice pick production started again this week. I'm actually making about 200 this time. I still have a lot of stock of the Chinese-made versions. They're also available and they're selling very well. So if you bought one, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm integrating the new Tormac into the process, getting some engraving done, some really nice. It's precise every single time. It's the same, which is nice with having a machine like this with nice tolerances and a nice vise. But I had a little bit of a problem, and I discuss it on today's podcast, on Friday's podcast, the Making a Podcast in detail. I discovered something this week trying to engrave the ice picks. I tried all different types of V-bits. The last V-bit I tried was this one that had an insert in it, and it wasn't cutting well. And what I finally realized is that the insert was not centered. So I had to loosen the screw and center the insert. And then not only did I realize that the insert was not centered, I realized the insert was 4-sided. So I have 4 brand new tips, which I didn't realize because one of them was chipped. So I got discouraged, but once I took a closer look, I realized not only was it off-centered, but I had extra tips in that one V-bit. Lesson learned, go back, double check, make sure you know what you're buying. I didn't realize it. I was discouraged because it was off-center, so it kind of threw my whole game off for the whole day, but when I went back and I realized what was wrong, I got back on track, and now I'm that much smarter. Again, I encourage everybody to give away the tools you don't use. Find a maker space in your community. Just donate tools to people and places that can use them if you're not using them. I needed space for the lathe, so I gave away one of my compressors. Tell everybody who you are and where you're from.
My name is Kevin Palmer. I'm from New Hampshire, and I'm here to pick up the compressor that Jim has given me.
The only reason I'm showing this segment is I want to encourage other people to give away tools that they don't use. Don't sell them, just give them to somebody that needs them. And then the world will be a better place. Thanks, Mike.
Great.
This week I also got to install the cabinet I made for my Rockler video last month, and I'm glad that's out of the shop because it took up a tremendous amount of space. I'm going to start building my second Rockler video this next coming week, and you'll see more details about it. I'm going to build a dresser for my own apartment. And finally, this week wrapped up with me doing a lecture at the Mohonk Mountain House, if anybody knows about it. This is the place, rumor has it, that Stephen King wrote The Shining at. And this place kind of seems like The Shining. Apparently there's a place in Colorado, which was also the inspiration for it, or the location for the setting of the book. But this place is very much like The Shining. It is incredible. Built 100-something years ago, and it's just an incredible spot. I was there for the New York State Association of Independent Schools, or nysais.org. They invited me up to do a lecture on remaining creative as we get older, and basically keeping that creative spirit you have when you're a child and not letting that go. And I like to try and keep that alive within myself, and so I gave an hour-and-a-half lecture on the concept, and it was videotaped. There was an interview done with me after the lecture. The lecture and the interview will probably be found somewhere on the nysais.org site, so take a look for that. So I'll see you all next week. Thank you for watching. I appreciate the love and support everywhere, always. Thank you.